So, in this lecture, we will discuss about the Kotlin programming. But in this lecture, we will discuss about practically. I will give you all the practical demonstration for the topic that we have discussed in the previous lecture. So, what we have discussed in the previous lecture, basics of Kotlin, decision-making statement, looping statement, creating and calling function, and advantages and disadvantages that we have learned in the previous lecture. So in the today's lecture, I will give you the demonstration of all the topics practically. Okay, so what is the basic syntax of Kotlin, how you can do the decision making statement, how you can apply the looping control statement, and how you can create a function and calling the function. So that all the topic we will cover by today with a practical demonstration. Okay, so this is the topic that we will discuss by today practically. So let's start the session practically without wasting much more time. So let me share a screen with you guys that we are going to use the IDE. Okay? I hope you are getting the screen in my IDE. You can see I am using the IntelliJ IDE. Okay, to give you the demonstration of how to create a project in the Kotlin and how to apply the looping control and the conditional statement and function statement and the basic of the Kotlin that we will do practically. So you can see here I have opened my IntelliJ IDEA. It is an IDE for Kotlin development. Here there are four menus are there: project menu, customize menu, plugin menu, and learn menu. So from the project menu, you can see there is four option in the project menu: new project, open project, and clone a repository. So first of all, we are going to create a project. So I will click on the new project. When you click on the new project, another pop-up will be open. So these IntelliJ IDE will give you the very flexible view that you can use this view to create an application. Say for example, you can create a project of Java, Kotlin, Java FX, Spring. These all are the generator are also available, and you can create a project also. So in today's lecture, we will going to learn about a Kotlin. So we will creating a Kotlin project. So I am just clicking on the Kotlin. Over here, we need to provide the name of the project. Say for example, Kotlin project. So I have given the project name as a Kotlin project. Okay, and this is the location of the project that on that location the project will be stored. And there are some build system are available: IntelliJ, Maven system also there, and Gradle system also are there. So currently I am using IntelliJ build system using the JDK. Okay, so without doing so much over here, I am just creating on the create. So it will create a project for me. So as you can see, there is a project is created. When I click on the create project button, it will create a Scratch project for me, and by default the main.kt file will be there. Okay, so you can see there is also a project panel available. You can minimize that also, and if you want to show that, you just click over here in the project panel. The project panel will be displayed. Okay, so this is the, you can say, main.kt default file will be there. I am just uh, closing this file because we are going to learn Kotlin from scratch. Okay, so अभी मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, मैं एकदम बेसिक से स्टार्ट कर रहा हूँ. सबसे पहले आप अगर कोई भी अगर टेक्नोलॉजी का स्टार्टिंग करना हो सीखने का, तो आप कर सकते हैं हेलो वर्ड से. ठीक है, तो अभी मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ कि ये जो लेक्चर है हमारा, वो पूरा का पूरा लेक्चर जो है वो प्रीवियसली हमने जो टॉपिक पर बात करी है थियोरेटिकली, उसको हम प्रैक्टिकली इंप्लीमेंट करने वाले हैं. ठीक है, तो आई एम जस्ट क्रिएटिंग clicking on the new. Okay, so you can see there is a project panel. In the project panel there is a src folder, and src folder has the main.kt file. So I am just creating a new KT file by using the right click on the src, new, and Kotlin file. So when you click on the Kotlin file, the pop-up will be there, and we need to select the file over here. So for example, I am just providing the file name as a hello world. Say for example, hello world.kt. So here I have created a file name as a hello world.kt file. You can see. Now what I need to write is I am just creating a very simple Kotlin application. It will just print the message onto the console. So first of all, I need to write function main over here. You can do like that. So you can just write main over there and click enter. It will be uh, there in the file automatically, right? So in the function main, I will call a function. So for example, print ln. So it will call to the println function, and it will give the output onto the console. Say for example, hello students, how are you? Okay. So this is just a very basic file that about the Kotlin syntax. If you want to print the value, if you want to print any value to the console, there is a function named as a println. Okay, and function main function is a starting point of the Kotlin program execution that we have discussed in the theory lecture also. Now I am just going to run the file. To run the file, you can see over here there is a run button. So when you click on the run button, some background process will be there. It will build a project, build a file, okay, and then we can get the output into the terminal. Here you can see hello student, how are you? Okay, and process finish with exit code 0. So this is our output, my dear students. You can get the output like that into the IntelliJ IDEA. It is a kind of IDE, and this IDE will use to develop a Kotlin and Java applications. Okay, so this is a very basic program that I have given to you. Function main println statement. Let's create another program to understand the concept of variable. Variable is very most important concept of any language. Okay, so let me just minimize this terminal console, and I'm creating another file. So for example, new Kotlin file, and this file we will learn about variable. So I'm just writing the file name as a variable.kt. Okay, and you can start with the main function main. Okay, so now in this function we will learn about the variable. So in the Kotlin, you can see there is a two type of variable, mutable variable and immutable variable. That is also we have discussed in our previous lecture. In the theory lecture, we have discussed about what is a mutable variable and what is a immutable variable. So currently, I am just giving you the practical demonstration of that variable. So say for example, I am just creating a variable using the var keyword. So var is the keyword. That keyword we'll use to create a variable in the Kotlin. Okay. So var, say for example, a colon string. So this is the syntax to create a variable, and by using that colon, it is a class reference variable also, you can say, and by using that colon sign you can provide a data type of that variable. Okay, and here also you can provide the declaration and with definition. Say for example, here I am writing hello students. तो यहाँ पे मैंने क्या करा है, I have just created a variable name as a. The data type of that a variable is a string, and the value of that a variable is hello students. So that is we have discussed in our previous lecture. In the theory lecture, we have discussed that a variable is a container, a kind of container. In that container, the value will be there. So a is our container, say for example, and the value is hello students. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just printing the value of a variable over here. So I will write println in the bracket. I will write a. Okay. So let's have output for these two lines first, and then we will learn about more. We will learn more about the variable. So let's just run this program. Some background task will be there. It will build a project for us. And here you can see we are getting the output hello students. Okay. So by using that var keyword, we have created a variable name as a. But a Kotlin is providing a val keyword also. Say for example, val b colon, let me just create an integer variable now, integer equal to 20. Okay. So you can see when you are using the var keyword, it is, we can say, a mutable variable. Mutable variable. And by using that val, if you are creating a variable by using val keyword, it will create a immutable variable. So what is the difference between mutable variable and immutable variable? Let me just complete it first. Say for example, I am just writing the println statement over here, print b. Okay. And now I am just running the file again. So it will build a project for me, and it will give you the output into console. Say for example, hello student and 20. Now, if I want to reassign the value to that b variable, say for example, now I want to assign b equal to 50. So you can see the Kotlin is providing error. Val cannot be reassigned, means a value that is defined in the variable once, it cannot be changed. It is called immutable variable. And in the case of mutable variable, you can change the value of the variable if you have created a variable by using var keyword. So if you are creating a variable by using var keyword, it is a mutable variable. And if you are creating a variable with a val keyword, it is a immutable variable. So it is not possible, you can see, reassigning the value with a mutable variable. It is not possible. Kotlin compiler gives us the error val cannot be reassigned. Let's here reassign the value. Say for example, a equal to, now I am creating I am assigning another value. Say for example, good morning. So you can see there is no any error. You can see there is no any error. The value is reassigned to the a variable. But over here, it is not possible because b is a variable that is defined with val keyword. So it is not possible. So that's why I'm just commenting this line and writing error over here. So you will have the proper idea. Okay. So by using that var keyword, you can create a mutable variable, and by using that val keyword, you can create a immutable variable. Okay. And now you can just print over here also. Say for example, print b, or say for example, print a, because we have changed the value of a. Okay. So now when we run the file again, we will get the output as, first of all, the hello student, and then we are getting 20, and then we are getting good morning. Okay. Why? Because we have changed the value of a. A is a mutable variable, so we can change the value of a at runtime. And b is a immutable variable, so when you reassign the value to that variable, it will give you the error. That is what we have discussed about the theory portion also, a difference between mutable variable and immutable variable. Okay. So this is what we have learned about the variable, mutable variable and immutable variable. Okay. Now uh, let's have let's have one program that will take the value from the user and then some mathematical operation. Okay. So to do so, you need to use the read line method. That is also we have discussed in the theoretical lecture. Let me just create another Kotlin file. In this file, I will give you the demonstration about readline method. Okay. So I'm just creating a file name as readline.kt. Now I'm writing the main function over here. Say for example, function main. Okay. So what we will do in this program, we will take two input from the user. Say for example, you can say three also. We can have three input from the user, and we will print the addition of the three value in the Kotlin. So you will have the syntax idea also, that how to take the value from user, and if you want to print into the console, how you can do that. Okay. So say for example, first of all, I will write the print statement over here. Enter a value, or you can say enter number 1. Okay. And then we will wait for the user input. So if you want to take the value from the user, there is a read line method. By using that read line method, you can take the value from the user. Okay. But if you take the value from the user, you need to store that value into the variable. So I'm just creating a variable number 1 equal to read line. Okay. Same to same we need to do for variable 2. Say for example, print enter number 2, enter second number. You can do like that also. So for example, here let me write enter first number, enter second number, and that number we will also store into the variable. Say for example, var number 2 equal to read line. Okay. And I am just taking the another value. Say for example, print enter third number, and variable number 3 equal to read line. So what we have done, we have taken the value from the user. We have taken three value from the user. What is the problem over here? The problem over here is, when you get the value from the user, it will be in the string data type. And if you want to do the mathematical operation, you need to be converted into the integer. So what if I write over here print ln statement dollar number 1 plus dollar number 2 plus dollar number 3. Okay. So what we have done, we have just printed the value of that variable over here. Say for example, let me run this line of code. So we will have the idea that how we need to convert and why we need to convert the value. Say for example, enter first number 10, enter second number 20, enter third number 30. So here we are getting the output as 10 plus 20 plus 30 as a message. It is our message that we are going to provide to the user. Okay. But what we need to do is, we want to write the addition of that variable into the console. So we cannot do the addition on that variable value. Why? Because the variable is as a string type. So if you are getting the value from the readline method, the value that will be entered by user will be the string data type. So अगर कोई भी यूजर यहाँ से वैल्यू एंटर करता है, सपोज कि मैंने 10 एंटर करा, तो वो 10 है, वो एज अ न्यूमेरिक वैल्यू नहीं लेगा, वो एज अ स्ट्रिंग लेगा. आप समझ रहे हो? सपोज कि मैंने 20 एंटर करा है, यूजर ने 20 एंटर करा है, ठीक है, तो 20 एज अ स्ट्रिंग ही लेगा. यहाँ पे 20 एज अ न्यूमेरिक वैल्यू, इंटीजर वैल्यू नहीं लेगा. So what we need to do is, we need to convert these entered value to that particular data type. And to do so, we have the operator name as exclamatory sign, and dot. And you can call a method, say for example, to integer. So now what is the method? What is the use of these to integer method? To integer method will use to convert your value to the integer if there is a numeric value in the string. Okay. So here also I need to write to write method. To integer method. And over here also I need to write to integer method dot to integer. So what we have done? We have taken the value from the user. After then we are converting that value into the integer value, and then we are assigning the value to the variable. Same as for number 2 variable and same as for number 3 variable. Now what I need to do is I just need to write the addition. Say for example, here I will write dollar curly bracket. In the curly brackets, I will write number 1 plus number 2 plus number 3. So this is what we have done. We have done the mathematical operation by using these syntax. So now you can see when I run this program, we will get the very good output. Say for example, I am running the file. Enter first number, say for example 50, enter second number 60, enter third number 70, and then you can see we are getting the output as 50 plus 60 plus 70 equal to 180. So this is what we have done with the mathematical operation, and this is the method that we are going given to the user. And the number 1, number 2, and number 3 are the variable. We are taken the value from the user, and then we are converting the value into the integer, and then we are storing it to the number variable. And after that, we are just printing the value of that variable equal to the addition of that variable. So now you can do any mathematical operation like this by using to integer. There is a to float method also. If you want to work with a float value, so there is a to float method also. As I return to integer over here, if you have float value, then you can convert your value to that float also. So this is also the possible way you can do like that also, right? So till now what we have done, we have learned about the print statement hello world. We have learned about a variable, a mutable variable and immutable variable. After that we have learned about the read line method and data type conversion. So in this program we have learned two topics: read line method and data type conversion, string to integer, string to float. Okay, so this is what we have done in this program. Now let's learn about the looping statement first. Okay, so now I am just creating another Kotlin file. Say for example, loop.kt. Okay, so in this program, we will learn about the looping statement into the Kotlin, a variation of looping statement. There is a various type of looping statement available in the Kotlin. So I'm writing the main function over here. Okay. Now, a very basic, say for example, for I in 1.10. This is the syntax for the for loop. So यहाँ पे हमने क्या करा है कि I वेरिएबल हमने लिया है for loop में, और ये जो I वेरिएबल है वो 1 से स्टार्ट होके 10 तक चलेगा. ठीक है, तो ऐसी है कोटलिन की सिंटैक्स फॉर I in 1.10. अभी मैंने जब ऐसा लिखा तो ये ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू जो आ रहा है वो उसका सजेशन आ रहा है. ठीक है, लेट मी जस्ट राइट इट अगेन सो यू विल हैव द आइडिया. I in 1.10. And over here what I need to write is I am just writing the print statement. Say for example $I and space. Okay, so a very basic syntax for the for loop over here. Say for example I am running this file. So when I run this file, we will get the output as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 over here. Okay, so this is our output. So this is a very basic syntax for the for loop in the Kotlin. Say for example, I am just giving you the another variation. I'm just writing the print statement over here. No, I need to write print ln. Okay. Say for example, let's have another variation for I in 1 dot dot 10. And now what if you jump to 2 value, right? So I will write a step 2. So step 2 means it will increase your value with 2 step, right? In general क्या होता है कि for integer I equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. So ये जो I plus plus है वो यहाँ पे default हो जाएगा. But now if you want to do I plus equal to 2, at that time the Kotlin syntax is like that. You can write step 2 over there. Okay, it will increase the value. Say for example, I'm writing the print statement over here, print, and in that print statement $I. So now there will be a different output for this for loop and for this for loop also, because here we are increasing the value with 1, and over here we are increasing the value with 2. Okay, so we have taken step 2 over here. Let me just run this file so you will get the difference between these two. See here we are getting, for the first loop we are getting 1 to 10, and for the second loop we are getting 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. And you can see over here 1 and 10 both are inclusive. Both value are inclusive value into the for loop. So there is the this is the another variation of the for loop that are given over here. Say for example, you can start with this for loop with 2 also. Say for example, for I in 2 dot dot 10 step 2. Now, can you assume the output of this for loop? When I print the value of I, say for example, print $I space. So what will be the output of this for loop? Can you guess the output? You can write the output by pausing the video, and you can compare the output with the actual output. Okay, so let me just run this file over here. So as we are getting the output, I need to write the println statement over here. Let's just run again. So now you can see we are getting output over here as 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, and over here we were getting the 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So for these for loop we are getting 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and for these for loop we are getting 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, so this is, you can say, for odd numbers and even numbers you can identify like that, or like these also into the Kotlin. Now let me just write the println statement. Now what if you need to uh, continue the loop, like if you need to uh, let's say for example, if you need to reverse a loop. Okay, so here you can see there is a value 1 to 10, here is a value 2 to 10, but what if you need to write the reverse loop? So a reverse loop will be done something like that. For I in 10 dot dot, if you write like that, 10 dot dot 1, so it is something like that, the condition is false. Okay, so to continue to the if you want to write the reverse loop, then there is a keyword name as down to. So here I am writing for I in 10 down to 1. If you want to execute your loop as a reverse order, at that time the down to keyword will be used. So for example, let me write the print statement over here, and in the print statement $I. So we will get the output of this for loop over here. Let me just run this file. So as you can see, we are getting the output in the reverse order over here. Okay, so if you want to execute your loop in the reverse order, there is a keyword named as down to keyword. Okay, and this is also you can do. You can combine with down to with step. Okay, so let me just give you another demonstration for that. For I in 10 down to 1 with a step 2. You can do like that also. So you can combine the down to and step keyword. Say for example, now I'm just write the print statement $I. So what will be the output of this program? Can you guess the output? You can pause the video, guess the output and write into the book. And after that, compare your output with the actual output. Okay, so now let me run this file. So you can see the output over here that we are getting is 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. Okay. 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. We are getting the value in the reverse order with a step 2. So these you can combine this down to and step keyword over here. So this is the variation of the for loop that I demonstrate to you. A very simple for loop, I in 1 to 10. Then we have taken the example of I in 1 dot dot 10 with a step value. Then we have written the for loop with starting with 2. Here we have started with 1. Here we are starting with a 2. Another for loop we have written over here for with I in a 10 down to 1. If you want to execute your for loop in the reverse order. So down to keyword will be used. And now at last we have combined the down to keyword and step keyword for I in 10 down to 1 with a step 2. Okay, so when you run these when you run this file, you will get the output of all these for loop into the console. So this is what we have learned about the loop in the Kotlin. Okay, these are the variations for the for loop available into the Kotlin. So let's have the another topic. Say for example, let's learn about function first. Okay, this function is also we have done with the theoretical concept. Okay, previous lecture में हमने function के बारे में पढ़ा था theoretically. In the today lecture we are going to learn the functions in the practically, right? So I am creating another file. Say for example, new Kotlin file. I'm creating another file. Say for example, function, or you can say a UDF also. So how to create a UDF, that is also we will discuss in this lecture. Okay, so let me have the main function first. So function main we have created. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the practical demonstration of how to create a function in the Kotlin and how to call that function with parameter. You can create a function without parameter and you can create a function with parameter, and you can return a value from that particular function also. So I will teach you all the concept about the function in this program. Okay. Okay. So let's start with the function. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I am just creating a function. If you need to create a function, there is a fun keyword in the Kotlin. So fun is the keyword. That keyword will use to create a UDF, user defined function. So now say for example, I'm creating a function, say for example, print message. A very simple function that I have created over here. Okay, and when I call this function, it will executed by the compiler. Say for example, I am writing the println statement over here, function, sorry, called. So this is, we have created a user defined function with no argument, with no return value. So there will be a 4 type of UDF: with argument, with return, no argument, with return, with argument, no return, and with argument, with return. These 4 type of function will be available in any programming language. So in the Kotlin also there is a type of function. Okay, so this is the type of function with no argument because there is no any parameter, and with no return value because we are not returning the value from the function. So now if I want to call this function over here from function main, I will just write print message function. Okay, so it is a totally modular programming. A function will provide you the modularity of your programming. So when this file will be executed, what will happen? It will first call to the main method, and in that main method we have written the print message function. So print message will be called here. It is a, you can say, a calling over here. Okay, we have called this method, and over here we have created a function. So creation of function, calling function and creation function. Okay, so when we run this file, the print message method will be called, and this method will print the value function called onto the terminal. So let's run this file. It will build a project, and we are getting as an output function called in the terminal. So this is the very basic function that we have created. Let me just create another function with parameters. Say for example, function print message with parameter. Okay. So I have created a function. Function name is print message with parameter. So when we call this method, we need to pass the value to this function. And when we pass the value from the main, we need to catch it over here. So I will write message colon string. And in that print message with parameter function, I will write a print statement. Say for example, print ln hello dollar message. So when we call this method, when we call this method from the main method, we need to pass the parameter over here. Say for example, hello students. So hello is the default message that we have given. I am just passing the students as a value. So when this method will be called with a student value will goes to the message variable, and we are printing the message variable in the print statement. The output of this function will be something like hello student. Okay, so let's check it. When we run this file, we will get the output function called and hello student. So hello student जो है वो क्या है, हमारा पैरामीटराइज्ड फंक्शन है. और ये जो हमने क्या करा, डिफॉल्ट फंक्शन, नॉन पैरामीटराइज्ड फंक्शन. You can say non parameterized function also. Let me just copy it. So this is a non parameterized function, and this is a parameterized function. Okay, and we have called this function over here. Now there is a variation in the particular Kotlin language. You can provide the prefix value, means a default value to the function. It is very important and interesting also. Say for example, I am creating a function over here with a function print message with prefix. So what is prefix? Prefix means a default value. It is not any kind of dynamic value. So when we call these methods, say for example, we will pass the value to this function. First of all, message colon string comma, info, and say for example, let me just write prefix over here. So prefix colon string equal to info. So you can see there is a two parameter in this function. When we call this parameter, when we call this function, we need to call with a two value, or you can call with one value also, because the second value that we have defined as a prefix. So here prefix is a simple variable only, like as a message. So when you call this method, we need to pass a one value, or we need to pass two value. Okay, so let me just write calling of this function print message with prefix. Okay, I'm just forgot the print statement over here, print ln. Now I will write prefix first. So say for example, message first, message equal to dollar message, and prefix equal to dollar prefix. So prefix is a simple variable with a default value. Okay, this is we are calling a prefix value. So now you can see if you call this method over here, there is a error. Why? Because we need to pass two parameter, message as a string and prefix as a string. Now let me just write with one parameter message, with only one parameter. Say for example, uh, Android. Okay, so you can see there is no any error. We have passed only one value to this function. There is no any error. Why? Because the second parameter has the default value. It is called a prefix value. So let me run this file over here. You can have the proper idea of prefix in this lecture. Message equal to Android and prefix equal to info. Okay, so let me just call this function with two value now. Print message with prefix. Say for example, Android, and second parameter as Kotlin. So now what will be the output of this function calling? This Android will goes to that message variable, that Kotlin which goes to the prefix variable. So output will be like message equal to Android and prefix equal to Kotlin. We have overridden the value, the old value with the new value in the prefix variable. Let's just run this file. You can see now message equal to Android and prefix equal to Kotlin. Why Kotlin? Because we have passed from the calling function. Okay, and if you do not pass the value of the prefix variable, the value will be taken as a default value over here. You can do like that also, right? So this is what we have done with without parameter, with parameter functions. And now let's understand how to return the value from the function. That is also very most important. Say for example, I am creating a function name as a sum function, sum, with two parameter, a colon integer comma b colon integer. So here you can see I have taken two variable over here. It is a parameterized variable for the sum function, a as an integer and b as an integer. Now what I need to do is I just need to return the addition of two value. So I will write the return a plus b over here. But you can see there is an error. You can see there is an error. Why? What is the error? Type mismatch. Required unit found integer. So what you need to do is you need to write the return type over here, that what value will return this sum function. So you need to write over here colon integer. You can see there is no any error. Why? Because you have defined the return type of that function. You have defined the return type of the sum function over here. Okay. So if you remove these from here, will give you the error. because whenever you are creating a function, if you are returning the value from the function, you need to write the return type. So I am just writing colon integer. So integer is the return type of some function. Okay. Now this sum function I will call from the print statement. Print. So for example, here let's have println. Println. In that println, I am calling another function. So I am calling the function from the function. Println. In that println function, I am calling another function name as sum with two variable 10, 20. So what will we do over here? 10 will goes to the a variable, 20 will goes to the b variable. This function will return the addition of the value, and by returning the value, we are printing onto the console. So this is what the procedure that will be performed by this function. So let's run this file. As you can see, we are getting 30 over here because we have written the print statement over here. In the print statement, we have calling the sum method. Sum method will returning the addition of two values, and this addition we are printing onto the console. So this is what about the user defined function in the Kotlin. You can see I have given you the different kind of variations into the Kotlin programming. Means what is function, how you can create a function, how you call the function with a parameterized function, with a prefix function, and how to return the value from the function. That is we have done with this file. So now let's discuss what we have done till now. This is the hello world program. Okay, which have the only println statement. This is the variable concept that I have given you the demonstration. uh, Mutable variable and immutable variable. Here you can see there is a read line method. Okay, by using that read line method, we can get the value from the user, and we are converting that string value to the integer value, and we are printing the addition of the value. In this program, we are going through about the looping statement. So these all kind of looping statement available in the Kotlin with a variation. I have given the demonstration. And this is the UDF demonstration. Okay, user defined function, how you can create a function with parameter, without parameter, how you can return the value from the user defined function. That all we have done in this program. So that's all from my side. In this lecture, we have learned a lot practically about the Kotlin today. So you can do the practice by yourself. And if you have any question, query, or doubt about this topic or about previous topic, you can contact me anytime. So that's all from my side today. Thank you, guys.